Ooh, friends gone wild, or is it crackheads gone wild, like Suki said? Because Princess's Poker Night was a madness, thanks to Von Shay. Now tell me, how do you want to be in law enforcement, but you're acting like a hooligan on TV? Like, really, get it together, girl. What is going on? Wagwan, my nice people, my inquisitive crew. Let's get into Love and Hip Hop Miami. Now, this episode had a lot going on. Now, let's start off from the beginning. So we had Miami Tip's book release, right? And to me, this whole Miami Tip versus Eliza situation is giving kind of bitter Betty vibes. Like, I don't understand what's going on. It sounds like from Tip's perspective, you know, she was friendly with Eliza, and Eliza left her in the dust when she got with Future. But I'm like, if you guys are really friends, would you be airing her business like this? Because this just seems really a bit much. Like, there's a lot of him there. I mean, how close were they really? And, you know, she's talking about her daughter and, you know, basically not seeing her daughter and all that kind of stuff. But then in the same breath, you're saying, don't talk about your son. So I'm like, come on now, just leave the kids out of it. Even the big ones, just leave it out of it. Now, we see that Zoey Brinks has moved in with her man. And my question was, well, where has he been this whole time? Because you said that you were homeless. So how is it you've got a man and you've been homeless this whole time? So it's just not adding up. But anyway, they've moved into this apartment. And she was saying that she has no regrets about the whole situation and how she kind of approached the situation at Bobby's party. So I'm sitting here thinking, you should have a little bit of regret in the way you approached it, because, honey, you didn't really approach it in the very right way. I think in your mind, you're thinking you're going over there, you know, kind of making a bit of a joke, but it just didn't come over that very well. But you did have me cracking up when you called Joy a purse holder. Yeah. Oh my God. Her man was giving her, you know, decent advice, just saying, you know, think of the bigger picture. But, you know, she is not having it. She don't want to kiss no one's ass. And I understand that. I can understand that. But I feel like she handled the situation wrong. Now, this whole thing with Trina blocking the project for Zoey, I didn't like. I think that's a bit bad mind, okay? Yes, I do think Zoey had a bad attitude, but so does Trina at times. I mean, think about it. It all started because of the way she kind of interacted with her in the first place. Had she just given her a decent hello, I don't think any of this would have happened. But instead, she was really, really kind of rude to her in the first place. Because if you remember, when they actually met, all I remember her saying, literally, was she had to go. And at one point, when Zoey did say, you know, nice to meet you, she said, you're welcome. So it was giving mean girl vibes. You might have been in a rush and you might have had lots of things to do and you might have been tired, but it was coming off across very mean girlish. So I think, you know, because for the reason of the music, she should have just been trying to think, you know what, let's try and move this forward. And also, like, because it was Super Cindy that was bringing Zoey over to her, and she knows Super Cindy, she's obviously got a relationship with her. So out of respect for her, I thought she would have at least just been a bit cordial to the girl, but she just wasn't. I felt bad for Super Cindy in all this situation because, you know, she's the one who brought Zoey in, and she obviously rates Zoey, and and Zoey Brinks is a good artist. Like, from what we can see, she's got some good music. So I can understand her bringing her to the table, want her to be involved in this situation and into the Queens Don't Compete project. But I don't think necessarily Zoey handles herself as well, but I still think Trina could have just allowed it and been like, you know what, it's a separate situation between my cousin and her, and it's got nothing to do with the music on this occasion, and just see how she handles her. She could have even just checked her when she saw her and been like, you know what, I don't know where you handled that, but let's still move forward. So I don't think she should have had to hold up the whole project. And I do feel like it gives the vibes that, you know, Cindy didn't really want to speak up or like push back on Trina. And is that because she's like the Queen of Miami, like, is everyone scared to say something to her? Because it does give a vibe of everyone's kissing her ass. And yes, she's got her accolades and stuff, but I'm just like, come on now, let's help the new ones come in as well. Because to me, it was just giving a vibe of, you know, Trina didn't really want to work with her in the damn first place. And I do get it's her family, it's Joy, but yeah, I still feel like she just didn't really want to work with her. Now, Flo made me laugh on this particular scene here, because she was talking about, we see her music, where it's good that she's getting good views, all that's all great. But, you know, her boys are letting her know that obviously, you know, they don't want to see her with anyone else but their dad. Now, is she really serious talking about, yeah, her kids don't know nothing about their dad or the sister Gael? Like, there's social media, honey. Like, can we be real here? Because the kids must know. Even children at school will probably be telling your kids potentially things like, you know what I mean, your mum's doing voodoo and all this type of stuff. This is kids, like, this is the real world. So I don't know where she's getting this and why she's going with this whole storyline. Now, the relationship with her and Gael, I'm just like, this is very interesting. Is this a whole heap of fake foolishness? Because, sorry, she would not be in my yard. Are you crazy? You have slept with, what, your sister's, well, her best friend. And then you slept with her too, the sister. The husband did, sorry. So it's just a whole heap of mix-up. So why would I have this person in my yard? Like, it doesn't make any sense. But anyway, that's me. But Gael is here saying that she needs peace. She wants everything to be clear, you know, and to clear it all up. And of course, Flo was reminding her about the whole mix-up, like I said, from, you know, Gael's friend Debbie sleeping with Marlon to Gael sleeping with Marlon. Like, it's a whole madness. So, of course, Flo can't forget that. But, yeah, they're sitting there having this conversation. And Gael's letting her know that everything in her life has been going wrong since Flo went to go and see the voodoo lady. And I don't understand why Flo is trying to say that she didn't put no curse on her specifically when the woman does mention your sister and says, do you want me to sort her out? So I'm like, Flo, come on, girl. Another reason why I think it's kind of giving fake is because Flo had to prompt her to say sorry. So you mean to tell me you're coming into my yard and you've come in and you've created all this carnage in my life, and I have to remind you to tell me sorry? Oh, what do ask? Nah, sir. But Gael is saying that she does want her sister back and she apologises once prompted. Now, her giving her sister advice is just also laughable because it's like, come on, I mean, look who's giving the messages about this new girlfriend of hers. And whilst there could be some truth to what she's saying about her being a bit thirsty, basically, and a bit hungry for fame, it's the wrong messenger, darling. Wrong messenger. And think about it, Flo, look how long it took for Flo to kind of wake up to Marlon. Like, come on now. She's not going to be quick off the mark with this one either. Now, Princess having this poker night, you know, it was an interesting situation. Like I said, she hires a penthouse for this. You know, she invites Amara and Shay, and then Shay invites Von Shay, and Amara also invites Eliza, and there's also Sukiana there as well. Now, Sukiana was cracking me up throughout this whole situation, I have to say. She definitely, you know, felt the energy shift when Von Shay started to, you know, have a go at Amara. It was just a lot, honestly. I get that Von Shay could not be happy about, you know, the way that Amara's treated her as a friend, and I understand that, but that was not the time nor the place, yeah? So, you know, you're throwing shade at the new girl, saying, you know, you hope she's a better friend to her than she was to you. It's just a whole heap of mix-up that didn't need to happen there, is what I feel. She just made a whole big scene, yeah, in the people them house, in their penthouse that Princess hired out. So I'm just like, what? You just met these people and this is how you're going on. This here was my favourite part because I'd be like Princess too, like, yeah, get your shoes, chick, it is time to go, because Princess put her backside out. She has to remember that this is Amara's friend and she just met you. And I'm glad that she was actually apologising, that Von Shay apologised, but like Princess was just not have her hair for the foolishness. I just don't blame her. Another person who was not here for the foolishness was Sukiana, who cracked me up, mate, talking about she is out of here and she ain't hanging out with you chicks again, mate. She had enough. Again, I felt a bit bad for Zoey at the ending when she was talking to Super Cindy and she got the news that she ain't going to be on the project. You know, I feel bad for her. You know, like I said before, I don't think she handled it right, but I do feel like, you know, it wasn't necessary for her to come off the whole project. Her keeping calling Joy the purse holder had me rolling. But yeah, I felt bad for her, and I also felt bad for Cindy actually, because she's in a bit of an awkward position. Now next week is looking like a hot crazy mess, and it looks like I'm going to be definitely cussing off Shay's disgraceful, disrespectful baby daddy. But anyway, what do you think of this week's episode of Love and Hip Hop Miami? Let me know your thoughts.